Hey guys, Chapter 9, Section 3 video here for you. We are going to work today on how can I find the surface area of a cylinder. So we're talking surface area of cylinders today. And cylinders are those nice shaped like a can, for instance. The surface area is the outside of this can. So like if we were to paint the can, it would be the paint on the outside. So let's get into what that means. Now here's some other cans and cylinders we can look at. Like for instance, we could take the SpaghettiO can and we could cut the wrapper off, and the wrapper that goes around it is part of that surface area. So in our notes, we're going to write down cylinder, and we're going to draw a picture of a cylinder. Now here's how I like to do it. I draw an oval, and then down below I draw a completely matching oval, and then I just connect them with two straight lines, and that forms a cylinder. Looks like this. So go ahead and draw your best cylinder in your notes. Some important things to know about this. If we're finding the surface area, so here's my cylinder. This is kind of the best way on the computer that I can show this. So the outside, when I think about the outside of my cylinder, here's what I'm thinking about. There's a top and there's a bottom. And in what shape are those top and bottoms? They're circles. Okay, so we've got a circular top and a circular bottom. But then we got that cylinder in the middle. Well, here's what we're going to do. It's like cutting it down the middle. Imagine we were to cut straight down through that cylinder and start tearing it open, pulling it apart like this, unwrapping it basically. If we unwrap that wrapper, imagine unwrapping it just a little bit more, it forms the shape of a rectangle. So what we have is a rectangular area that we need to find. The tricky part is how long is the rectangle? Well, let's think about that wrapper. If you took the whole circle and unwrapped it, that's the length of the rectangle. So how do you find that length of that circle? It's circumference. Circumference equals pi times d. That's how you find the distance around the circle. That's how you find the length of the rectangle. So some of our circle knowledge about circumference is coming back into action here. And then to find the area of this whole rectangle, we do length times width. Well, we know length is pi times d, but what's the width? Well, the width is this line right here, this green line. Well, that's the same as this. So however tall the can is, oops, sorry, I went a little fast on that. However tall that can is how wide this rectangle is. So basically, we got to find the length of that green and blue line, multiply them together, and we have our rectangle. Okay, we're going to try an actual problem now. Example 1, here we go. Here is our cylinder, so you can draw it in your notes. It measures 3 millimeters tall, and it has a radius of 4 millimeters. And we are going to find the surface area. So let's break this down into parts. First, why don't we start with the top? The top is a circle, has a 4 millimeter radius. So to find the area of that circle, what's the area of a circle formula? Pi r squared. So we're going to do pi times 4 squared. 4 times 4 is 16, so 16 pi. Now I need a calculator. I got to do 16 times 3.14, which is about 50.24. Now that's the area of the circle. How many circles are on this cylinder? There are 2. There's a top and there's a bottom. It's like a base and a lid. Okay, so we're going to save that information. Now it's time to unwrap the rectangle. So we're going to unwrap the rectangle and find the length and the width. Now how wide is it, or how tall is it? Well, it's 3 millimeters. It's going to match the cylinder. So we got that part figured out. How long is it? Well, that's the circumference of our circle. That's the pi times d. What's diameter in this problem? Well, the radius is 4, so the diameter must be 8. So we got pi times 8. Now we can find our area. Area is going to be 3 times the 8 pi. 3 times 8 is 24 pi. And then grab a calculator and do 24 times 3.14. Here's our answer, 75.36. So our total surface area now is going to be 2 of the circles, 2 of the top and bottom, so 50.24, plus the rectangle, 75.36. Now we grab a calculator. We multiply 2 times 50.24, we add the 75.36. You should grab your calculator. Just double check my math because I got 175.84, and that's measured in millimeters squared. So the whole surface area of this entire cylinder is 175.84 millimeters squared. Okay, let's try another one, example 2. Let's look at a can of tomatoes. This can of tomatoes has some dimensions on it. It's got a 2-inch radius and a 5.5-inch height. We are going to find the surface area. I'm going to start with the top of the can, which has that nice radius of 2 inches. So the area is going to be pi r squared, which means pi times 2 squared. I know 2 squared is 2 times 2, and 2 times 2 is 4, so I get 4 pi. And then I grab my calculator, and I do 4 times 3.14. Now 4 times 3.14 is about 12.56. There's going to be 2 of those, a top and a bottom. But now comes the unraveling of the rectangle. If we were to peel off that tomato wrapper, it has a length and a width. Now how tall is this rectangle? Well, looks like it's 5.5 inches over there, so 5.5. How wide is this rectangle? That means what's the circumference of this circle? Well, it's going to be pi times d. What's d? What's diameter? Well, it's a 2-inch radius, so it must be a 4-inch diameter. So we're going to multiply 5.5 times the 4 pi. And we're going to use a calculator to do that. 5.5 times 4 times 3.14 is about 69.08. So our total surface area is now going to be a grand total of 2 times the 12.56 plus the 69.08. 2 of the circles plus the rectangle, and that adds up to 94.2. I encourage you to pause the video and always check my math. Make sure I'm not making mistakes here. And oh yeah, inches, so inches squared, and there's our solution. All right, guys, your turn. I want you to try. You're going to find the surface area of a cylinder. I'm going to give you the cylinder, and you're going to hit the pause button and see if you can do it by yourself. Here is your cylinder. Go ahead and hit the pause button on your device. Good luck. All right, guys, you are ready to check your answer, I take it. So we're going to see how we're doing here. First off, let's start with the top, which has a 4-inch radius. The area of this circle, and then we'll do the area of the rectangle. Now the rectangle, you should have got dimensions 6 by 8 pi. So the area of the circle turned out to about 50.24, and the area of the rectangle turned out to 150.72. So total surface area is 2 times the 50.24 plus 150.72, and that adds up to 251.2 inches squared. How did you do? Did you get the right answer? Did you organize all of your work and draw out pictures? How's your steps looking? All right, guys, I hope you did all right. If you made a mistake, I hope you were able to figure it out.